What is Frontline Strong Together 5, or FST5, and how does it serve the first responder community of Michigan?
So FST5, again, the Frontline Strong Together is the FST, and 5 is the 5 different discipline groups that we serve through this program. So we work with police, fire, EMS, corrections, and dispatch. This is offered through the entire state of Michigan for first responders and their families. And what happened is that we had a lot of our union groups come together and say, our members need help. Our members need access to help. There needs to be no barriers to access to help, and we need to get this done right away. So they went to the state and petitioned for this grant that MDHHS has issued to Wayne State to be the fiduciary of. And here we are. FST5.org, you can go to and find an array of services specifically for those 5 disciplines and their families. The access there will be us trying to make sure that people have a space to go to not only anonymously get what they need in terms of services, but also have access to treatment, access to providers, and access to peer teams. So that is the biggest part for our mental health and behavioral health services through the website. And through our crisis line, we have a 24/7, 365 line that anyone of our first responders and or their families or any other members in the community that want to help someone in these 5 discipline groups can call and get crisis services with no barriers. So people are calling and they're getting the phone picked up right away and they're getting the services that they need.
And I think one of the important things to say with the services and the treatment, the clinicians, all of those have been vetted through Wayne State University and first responders.
Absolutely.
So all of them are culturally competent in all of the disciplines. So when you go there and you look for those peer support teams or you look for the clinicians that might be on the list, you know that when you go to call them, they know how to deal with first responders. And I think that's one of the important things to note when it comes to the access to those, because before it was you kind of just cold called somebody and you hope they knew what they were talking about. FST5 has actually taken the time to look at each clinician, vet them, and then they go on the list. So if you call, you're getting somebody who's culturally competent. And they actually come out and do third rides. They come out into our world and see what our world is about. And firsthand knowledge, you go on those runs, you go to the trainings with these crews, you do all those things, and they're really picking up who we are, how we work, how we operate. And that's what Frontline Strong is really doing, is taking that time to learn about all of us so they can help us in the best way possible.
So it sounds like FST5 is designed specifically to serve the Frontline 5 and their family with access to behavioral health services, as well as increasing access to crisis services. So MiCAL is what then?
So MiCAL is basically the central call center for Frontline Strong. They call into Frontline Strong. You are getting a first responder that has been trained to deal with any crisis or situation that comes up. We have police officers, firefighters, and EMTs and paramedics working on the line right now. It is 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and the calls are answered immediately upon pickup. And they can give them crisis intervention and also focus on resources that have been supplied by Wayne State University that have been vetted for first responders.